I guess we've covered quite a lot now, but there's a couple more things I'd like to kind of get to know what's happened. A big one is we touched on it at the beginning is run-ins with kind of your doctor, your dermatologist.
Mm.
What else did you know? They, I guess, I'm having a brain fart. I apologise. Might have to edit that
Oh,
part out.
your turn.
What have
Yeah.
they what have they recommended, and when was the do you still stay in contact with them at all, or do you have much interaction at all with them
Ah,
anymore?
I mean, I did email my dermatologist about a month ago saying that, look, it's come to light that I have TSW. And I listed a bunch of research papers for him to review. I encouraged him strongly to go onto the TSW to its website and look at the practitioners' resources. Um, and it was coming obviously from a very good place, wanting to just have these practitioners avoid having misdiagnosing their patients in the future and leading to this. But he still doesn't think I've got topical steroid withdrawal. He thinks I've got uncontrolled eczema and that I should consider going on to immune suppressants, which I'm not going to do because there's just too much mixed feedback on. I'd rather just wait it out. Quite
Mm.
frankly, I've gone through the worst of it. So yeah, so that wasn't very, he did respond kindly. I think he understands that I'm really struggling, but he doesn't believe that I've got topical steroid withdrawal, mostly because when in the initial consultations, I I didn't even consider I had TSW. I was like, so I said, like, I don't know, this thing came out of nowhere. I think it's an infection. I think I picked something up. So my focus was on, I think I picked something up. And we did some skin patch testing, and we saw that I was quite reactive to a few different compounds. And so his focus and my focus kind of took that route. We were like, oh no, it must be a topical allergen, contact dermatitis. And he did ask me what was my history of cortisone use. And at that point I said, well, I've mostly just been using numerous times a day, and I was topping up a little bit with my prescription cortisone. So all he heard was, yeah, so his response to me was like, there's no way you can get topical steroid withdrawal using over-the-counter steroids. Like, it's just not possible. But I think it is. I think it is when you're using that volume. And I think had I just stopped using all steroids at that point, it probably all of this past year wouldn't have been so hectic, because obviously we went on to using oral steroids and stronger steroids and all that jazz. So
Yeah, yeah. There's two last things that I'd like to kind of bring on to before we bring it to a close. Is what was your biggest mistake so far? You'd say, and just for other people kind of listening, what would you do instead? So, my biggest mistake, I personally believe, and again, it's all very personal to yourself, isn't it? Everyone's different.
yeah.
Everyone copes differently. For me, was once I stopped using moisturizer, I saw big improvements. Again, that's just for me personally. A lot of people crack, ooze a lot, and I've had that before earlier, and it's horrible. But that was, if I could tell myself one thing, it'll be stop moisturizer. What would be the thing you wish you did, kind of at the beginning?
Well, the obvious thing is to not use steroids.
Oh well, yeah, yeah.
Because I did go on for a number of months struggling, suffering terribly while using steroids. So, it would have been, I wish I trusted my gut and just not used steroids. But I thought that my symptoms were so unbearable when my face was flaring. Meanwhile, I didn't know what was in store for me. Um, I think the other thing I would have done is not started out on so many restrictive diets initially. I would have done I would have liked to have done the IgG testing, which I suspect is what you got done. I would have liked to see if I'm hypersensitive to certain things before having to cut them out. So more as a diet designed for me than guesswork, because I didn't do an IgG test, and I haven't done one. A wholesome diet, kind of like the paleo autoimmune protocol, and do IgG testing. I think that would have been helpful for me. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And just for the last one, this is going to be a very hard one, I'm sure, for a lot of people to answer because it doesn't seem like there's any positives at all going through the process. But I like to, even in the hardest of times, and everyone has bad days, everyone thinks in the worst days horrible thoughts, but
Mm.
what have been any positives, if any, that kind of came out of this for me? Funnily enough, I've actually, you become more empathetic towards people. That's a big one for me. I used to be a bit, um, well, I guess to put a bit of
Oblivious.
context to a story, yeah, my brother used to
Yeah.
get eczema when he was younger, and I used to have quite sticky out teeth, and he would call you names as you do when you're kids,
Yeah.
and in my response, I would say make fun of his eczema and
Mm.
how karma came back and fought me pretty hard. But
Yeah.
so now one thing is I'm very sympathetic towards a lot of other people, just more mindful. What has there been anything at all for you
Mm.
going through this process that you found, wow, this
Yeah,
is
so
a lot better?
the first time I went through it, that I had exactly that experience is okay, because I've had this before in high school, as I've mentioned, and it went on for quite a number of years. And I think at that age, your world is very myopic and very self-involved. And so I came out of it more of a healer and a carer, and just more aware of the suffering that happens around me. And that's what moved me into studying in the health industry and working in the health industry. So my passion shifted to help other people. So yes, that's a massive, and I think so. The only, and I'm sure there's other positives, but the positive that I can think of now is that just a reminder that this was always the direction I was going to be. It's a very personal thing. So for
Mm.
me, I was always going to work with people with eczema. That's why I did my undergrad degree. That's why I'm doing a postgrad now, my master's in personalized nutrition. And I started that before I got TSW. So in heading in this direction. And so for me, having this experience, it's just it's just fortified my passion to work with people suffering like I am. Um, so yeah, it'll be different for everyone, but I think we do learn compassion as a result of this.
Yeah, no, definitely. Right, well, thank you. I think for me personally, that was really insightful. Having someone on with so much knowledge on nutrition as a whole, and even just hearing someone else's story, I think is massively helpful for really anyone. I think no matter where you are, whether you're just starting, you're midway through, you're on the verge of healing. Um,
Yeah.
Again, if you'd like to, I guess just give details on your Zoom call that you give on Sundays for anyone
Mm.
that might want to join.
Okay. So, well, first of all, let me just say that we only started it 2 weeks ago and we haven't had any respondents. So I think there's a massive need for it, you know. So I was sitting there last night at 8 o'clock waiting for people to arrive, and no one arrived. So at about 1:30, I switched off. I'm desperate to have someone to chat to on a tough day, and
Yeah,
because we do. I go through very, very lonely, dark times, and I would like to be able to connect with someone who's in the same boat as me and just kind of really have a heart to heart. And so I started, yeah, this Sunday night 8 o'clock session, essay time. So that's, I think, 2 hours. That would be 6 o'clock your time in the UK. For anyone. So it's on Itsan. I'll post it on Itsan next Sunday night as well. Just a reminder for the link, the Zoom call. Anyone who's either suffering with topical steroid withdrawal, who has had topical steroid withdrawal, who's interested in helping people with topical steroid withdrawal, or who is a partner or loved one or family member of someone with topical steroid withdrawal is welcome to join. And it's just for us to connect with each other and just be there for each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. And then I do have a YouTube channel called Monica Lauren. And I will be posting by the end of today. I'll post my timeline. So if someone wants to see, from start to finish, my symptom timeline, then that's something that might be useful to other people.
Yeah. No, that's very useful. And make sure you go check it out, because photo timelines, I've done one myself personally, but watching other people's, in a really dark time, even when you get stubborn patches as well, really helps just know, particularly if they've healed, or even just to be able to relate to someone that
Yeah.
they're going the same thing as you is huge. It's really helpful. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, that's where I'm at. I'm busy flaking. I'm flaking so much that I can't sleep in my own, like it's sticking to me, it's itching me, all these flakes. And then you see someone's timeline, you're like, oh my gosh, they came out of it. Okay, I'm gonna hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you.